Hi everyone, this is Robin, and I am bringing to you my entry for Nancy's challenge for her subbies. Go girl, go girl. This one's called Going Out with My BFF, and it's a picture of my I have three children, but my middle daughter and my baby, Carlton. He would not like me to say that he's my baby, but he is. So anyway, they were getting ready to go out and to this organized rave thing for teenagers. There's not much to do here in Delaware, so it was something fun and different. And I had been wanting to do this one for a while, and I've been buying some neon things that you've seen in my hauls the last couple months, and so I'm finally putting those to good use. I have some neon paints I got from AC Moore or Michaels. I got neon sequins from Studio Calico, and I'm using some homemade enamel dots that were neon beads that I melted myself from Michaels. And this is the first time I'm going to use my Glit stamps and little dollar stamps I got from Michaels. Nancy's challenge was to use pattern paper as your background, to have a cluster, I have a couple, and to do two different stamps on your page. So that's what I'm doing. So first up, I'm just using some of these Heidi Swapp mistables that I love, love, love. And instead of misting them, I thought I would try to paint them with this neon paint. And I love the neon paint, but it didn't look as neon on these mistables. So you'll see me, I didn't want to cut it out. I wanted you guys to see it because if you don't like bright, bright neon, you might like this. You know, it's nice, pretty summer colors, but not neon like I was wanting. So I do paint them, but then I go back, except for this orange. I didn't have a bright orange mist, but I do go over them with some mist, and it gives me the colors I really, really wanted, that bright, bold color. So anyway, Nancy was like, when I had done my haul, and I mentioned I had gotten, or I was getting some neon things, she's like, she couldn't wait to see what I came up with. So I thought it was fitting, my first neon page, I do it for Nancy. So anyway, I hope you like it. It was a lot of fun to do. So see that yellow, it just really didn't show up. I think the arrow says now. And here's the ticket. It says, I want to say enjoy. But can you see they're kind of muted. They're not bright, and it's not because of the paint. It's because of the type of material, I guess, that the mistables are. So I'm holding it up, trying to decide what I want to do, but I do continue to paint. But Carlton's 16 and Shelby's 18, and they truly are not only siblings, they are best friends, and they get along really well. Well, of course, they still fight like siblings too, but they adore each other, and they are hilarious together. They are my two redheads, and everything that goes along with the redhead. So, you know, they can be stubborn-headed. I, of course, don't know where they get that from. You know, they can be stubborn. When they're mad, but when they love and laugh, they love and laugh. You know, everything's just exaggerated. Yes, they do get that from me. And my father loves it. Like, when Shelby's being sassy, my dad just kind of looks at me, sits back, and smiles. So I'm like, you can stop that right now, Dad. And I tease Shelby all the time that she's going to have twins just like her. She's like, no, I'm going to have the good kids like Rachel. Rachel's going to have the kids like me. And it was just really funny how she said it. And it's probably true. We'll see. So see, here I'm taking my Smooch Spritz in that golden yellow. And that's exactly the coloring I was wanting. And then I think I use my Delusions Funky Fuchsia. Yep, I do, Funky Fuchsia. And I spritz that. Even though it's purple, it turned out really well. I like the color it gave me. And then I'm using my Citron by Heidi Swapp for that green. And that helped it quite a bit, but still not quite as bright, intense green as I want, but I do something with the ticket later that makes it just perfect. So you'll see that when it's time. Here I'm using 2 sheets of paper from my March Scraptastic kit, and I'm using the striped chevron, the Amy Tan paper, and then I use the piece behind there is by Basic Gray Fresh Cut, and it's called Orchid Alley. And see that just the kind of neon swirl, it's not really neon, but it's nice and bright, and so I knew exactly when I saw that paper what I was going to do with it. I knew it had to go on this layout, and at first I kind of thought that I wanted it to be my main paper, but when I saw that black and white, I just instantly thought of neon splatters. I'm such an 80s girl. And so that's another reason why this page was so much fun. Who doesn't love neon? I decided to mount this picture. I really like the pink, and I don't mind pink with Carlton, but I didn't want too much pink. So this time, you know, they're redheads, so I decided to mount the picture on orange. And it was between that or the green, but I chose the orange. I'm just deciding kind of how I want my layout to go. So I pull out my citrus leaf stamp pad by Close to My Heart. And this is the first time using roller stamps ever. I've never used roller stamps, but they look like they're fun. And I got them at the 2-piece sale. They were like $1.79. It was crazy inexpensive. And I really liked them. It was fun, so I wouldn't mind having some more. I didn't know if I'd use them a lot, but I chose the roller stamp because Nancy loves hers so much too, so I just thought that was kind of cool. So now I'm taking the paint that I was using for the Mistables, and I'm adding water to it to make it really thin, and I'm just going to splatter. And it's kind of hard to see here. Some of the colors you can see a little bit better, but I do hold it up later so you can see it. But once I started splattering, I'm like, this is so much fun. I love it. And it's not a normal layout for me. And so I've been doing that a lot lately. I just been kind of experimenting and have fun and not worrying about what my usual designs and tastes are like. I guess I do have a certain style of scrapbooking. I don't know what that is. So just for fun, if you guys want to comment below, and most of you have seen every layout I've done on here, put a name to my style of scrapbooking, because I have no clue. But this was definitely fun, and I see myself doing a lot of this during the summer. So it's just messy, but I really, really loved it. So I used all the colors, the orange, the green, the pink, and yellow. And I think I hold it up here for you guys to look at in a second. It did take a little bit of time to dry because it was paint, but I spare you that. And look at that. Isn't that awesome? I loved it. Loved it, loved it. I challenge you guys to get some of those paints. They were like normally only like $1.10 maybe, and the paints that day were buy one, get one free. So they were like 50 cents a bottle. It was crazy, and it'll last me forever. But I would still buy them even for the $1 something. Now, if you can see off to the left there, I pulled out some recollections. I can't talk today. Washi tape. I've been wanting the Amy Tan thin washi tape for a while, and I just haven't bought it yet, but I saw that at Michael's, and they were nice, bright colors, and I knew exactly, I knew I would use it for this page. And I do something kind of fun with it. Can you guess? Can you guess? Wait for it. Here I know I want to use some of this, the other side of that paper, which is pink, and it has, I think, diagonal dashes and stripes on it. So that was kind of nice. It obviously goes because it's on the other side of that paper. And for a hot minute, I thought about doing the chevron sideways, but I decided not to. But I do decide to have it point this way. So I'm just going to start committing, not thinking too much about it. Trying not to, because I do. I always fiddle, and I try not to fiddle as much. I had to break these out of that container. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't find where each washi tape began, and so I just busted that thing wide open and took them all out so I can use them individually, which I liked much better. They fit perfectly in between the chevron, in between the black stripes. and I was proud of myself. Something so simple, I'm like, that is cool. So, and then it's thin enough to where I didn't want to cover up all my splatters, but you really can see through the washi tape, so it was still fun. I guess I should have done the splatters after that, but I didn't think I was going to do this, or else obviously I would have done the splatters over the washi, but maybe it wouldn't have dried as well. I don't know. I decided not to use the blue, but I do throw some blue in there later. You'll see with my homemade enamel dots and just some of the snippets from the March kit. And I think the snippets are from like L Studio. Like I said, that plus sign roller stamp is from Glitz. That ink pad that I use quite a bit is from the green citron, or what did I say? Citrus leaf is from Close to My Heart. And the neon alpha letters that I use later on are also Michael's brand Recollections. And I think I'm going to go back and adhere them down a little bit better. They were sticky, but not as sticky because I was able to pick them up and move them. So before I put the layout in my scrapbook, I'm going to adhere them down with some vellum because they are kind of see-through. Here, I normally use gray or black. I decided to go wild and use my green ink pad to ink around the edges, and I really, really liked it. It was fun, and I meant to do it around the black and white stripe with the green, but I forgot, and I'm still debating if I want to or not. I think I'm just going to leave it because I really, really like this layout. My husband saw it, and he's like, oh, that's nice. He's like, it's not your usual thing. And I'm like, no, but that's why I love it. So, yeah, he never got into the neon kick in the 80s, but, you know, he grew up on a dairy farm. So he didn't go out much and have fun. But the kids, anyway, had a blast with this rave. And I told them, I'm like, oh, guys, you need to go to the dollar store and, you know, get those those necklaces they hand out at parades, you break them and shake them and then they turn like really bright colors, and Shelby's looking at me like, seriously, Mom? And I'm like, I'm telling you, that's what we used to do. And they're like, we don't think so. Well, guess what they handed out as soon as they walked in? But they loved it, you know, because they had the black lights and they had so it made their shirt colors look really wild and different, and they had a blast. And they want to know when another one's going to happen. And I'm like, I don't know. It was the first time they did this for the kids. So we'll see. Shelby said there were a lot of people there, and it was just so much fun. So I'm sure they'll make it maybe an annual thing at the very least, maybe every couple months. I don't know. But it was also during the winter, and so it was really nice, something fun for the kids to do instead of being stuck indoors all the time. You know, they go bowling quite a bit, and they work. Well, Carlton doesn't work yet. He's not old enough to. But Shelby has a job. They both play sports. So right now it's softball and baseball season for my kids. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. The dogs. My front door's open. It's finally nice in Delaware, and they think they're guard dogs. Very sorry. Very, very sorry. Dogs. Monet, you're not a guard dog. You're not. Instead of Monet and Jenna, I should have named them Yip and Yap. Daytona, come here. Good boy. Lay down. I'm trying to talk to the people. Lay down. Okay, sorry about that. So now I'm just trying to frame my clusters. And I take that ticket and I smear it all over that citrus leaf ink pad. And oh, I love it. That's exactly the color green I wanted. So that worked out well. See how bright that is? Loved it, loved it. So besides the mist turned out really well with those mistables. Paint, not so much. So also know that you can use ink pads on them and just rub them on the ink pad directly, and you get a really nice color. If you want it a little more muted, you know, you can use your sponge then and go over it then if you want a color not so bright and intense. I decided to I popped almost everything up on this layout. I use my pop dots for some because they are higher and thicker than my Scotch tape. Oh my gravy. Monet! It's just someone walking their doggy. Monet! Come here. I apologize, everyone, but this is the only time I have an exam on Monday. Both of my kids have ball games today, so this is the only time I'm going to get to do this voiceover. So I have dogs. I have 3. I love them. Daytona, lay down, Bubba. And my husband will be coming back in soon too, so he had to drop the boys off so they can get on the school bus for the game. They're heading up north. Eric and I are split today because Shelby has a game too, so I'll be at Shelby's high school watching her. She's a senior this year, and I've missed 3 this week, 3 of her games this week because of clinicals, and she understands, but you know, it's hard for me too, so I should be studying for my exam, but I'll study later. She's my baby's first. So I'm deciding to use these branding strips that I took off of that Amy Tan paper. They're yellow, and then there's white. It's just like white swirls, curlicues in there. They look dawdled. Whimsical and fun. I liked it. I don't know what's going on with my camera here, but coffee break. And let me tell you, that candle warmer for like $5 from Walmart works like a charm to keep your coffee nice and hot. So I highly recommend it. This branding strip that I took off of the orange paper from that Amy Tan 6x6 paper pad that I mounted the kid's picture on, it was fun. It was black and white, but the hole to hang it on the pegboard went right in between the numbers. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I almost didn't care about it. I tried to cover it up with a star here later, but it wasn't looking right. But it eventually gets covered up with like a tag or something from the snippets. So it works out just fine. Works out just fine. I also bring in some wood veneer from the March Scraptastic kit. I use an O-Snap wood veneer picture frame, and I also use a camera, one of the larger wood veneer cameras that I really, really love. I thought about painting those too, but it was nice just to kind of bring in a natural element. Here's where I start bringing in a little bit of blue. I decide to go around it in black. I think the only thing I outlined were the papers under the picture. I did not outline the main paper. And oh yeah, I forgot I'm using that exclamation mark flare, and I play around with placement with that for quite a while too, but it eventually finds a home. Yep, there's a wood veneer frame up top. I thought that was kind of fun, and it does stick up, but that part's going to be sticking up above my album, so you know it won't bother how it fits in the page protector at all. And I've never used a frame like that, you know, so I thought that was cool. There's one of my homemade enamel dots. These beads were bigger, so these enamel dots are fatter, and I really don't see me using them a lot, but I really do like how I used them on this page. It was fun. I put another one up in there somewhere. I think I attached it in that corner. There's a orange one. And then I use the last 3. There's a little bit of space from where the yellow paper ends and that number paper begins, and they fit perfectly in there. I thought that was kind of cool. So there's the green, the pink, and the yellow one. So I'm really glad I used those. That was fun. I go inking again directly with my ink pad, which is kind of dangerous because, you know, the pad is so saturated. So if you angle your pad, I do it straight up and down, but if you happen to angle it a little more ink will show. And it could get messy. You could swipe really bad, but that's why I just try and keep mine straight up and down, so I just get the edges of it. And at this time, I'm still not sure what I'm going to make my title. I was staring at because I wanted to use all of the colors, and so I needed 5 words because I had 5 colors. And I don't use the G on going because they always say I'm going out. So I decided to, I think I snipped a piece off of an X for the apostrophe because I didn't get any numbers or punctuation with these sets. It's just 2 stickers or 2 sheets of capital letters, and so no lowercase, and that's fine. And they have, like I said, a little bit of a transparent look to them. And at first, I put down going out with the BFF. But you don't say I'm going out with the BFF, so I changed it to going out with my BFF. Carlton is so much taller than her now. I can't believe it. Like, he was so short forever. I never thought that child was going to grow. And Eric and I are not really tall. I'm like 5'6.5", and Eric's maybe 5'8", maybe 5'8.5". But there is height in both of our families. So we're hoping Carlton right now he's 5'7.5". He's almost up to Eric. In fact, when they're next to each other, he looks just as tall. So, you know, he's just 16, so I know he's not done growing yet. My grandfather was 6'1", 6'2", and Eric has a brother that's like 5'11". His parents aren't exactly tall, but he, like I said, there's height somewhere on his side as well. So I'm really hoping Carlton can at least get to 5'10", 5'11". That would be awesome for him. Shelby's 5'3.25", and she owns every inch of that quarter. If you just say she's 5'3", she goes and a quarter. And then Rachel's like 5'6". So Shelby's like, man, why can't I get a couple more inches? I said, you're done growing. I don't see any more height from you. You've been the same forever. Which, of course, she doesn't think is fair, but that's just Shelby. And I decided to outline it with my zig marker just to help them pop off of that basic gray pattern paper, which I'm really glad I'm using it. Other than that picture, I wasn't sure if I cared about the pattern too much, but when you break it up, it looks really good. Or if you have it, you can always use that as a background sheet and then use a big, larger square or shape to cover some of that up or to break up the pattern. Or it's bright, so you could also splatter black or something like that on it to tone it down a little bit. If you want to kind of do a neon, but you don't have the paints, you can always use it, kind of like your neon or bright color. And yeah, wet down just some black paint or use your black mists and just splatter around. That would be really, really fun too. So the kids are very much about Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and you know, you like people's pages and stuff on Facebook, so that's why I got this stamp, and I just did it messy. I just kind of stamped them a few times without re-inking, and it turned out fine. And under hello, I wrote the year 2014, and then I decided to do my journaling right on the page within the chevron. And I hold it up at the end. I just wrote about the kids going out to this rave and how much fun they had. And that mom kind of does know what she's talking about a little bit. They just think I'm old. It's okay. And I decided to use that flare badge as the exclamation going out with my BFF, you know, and use it at the end of that to kind of accentuate the title. And then that snippet in green down below that covers up that where the numbers don't quite coincide in order. It says, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. And here we go. I hope you like it. I also skipped over the part of me gluing down these neon sequins from Studio Calico. Love them. I want some more. I can see myself using them all summer long. That's that fun little cluster. You can see these letters a little bit better. My enamel dots and the paint splatters and sequins. This page really was a lot of fun, so I challenge you guys to kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Highly recommend it. There's Shelby and Carlton. I don't think I pause, but there's pictures, up close pictures in the beginning of the video. So I hope you like it, Nancy, for your giveaway. It was fun to do. Thanks for the challenge. I'm loving these challenges. It really makes me go outside my comfort zone a little bit. So thanks for watching, and everybody have a great weekend. Bye.